Think for a minute of the 10 or 15 most successful people you know. What qualities do you observe in them? It is likely that they are all quite different. They exhibit individual traits, talents, and abilities that set them apart as unique. At the same time, these successful people are likely to have a number of qualities in common. Most of them are probably highly creative people. They exhibit a desire for achievement and accomplishment. They are decisive, action-oriented people. Some of them reach the pinnacle of success quickly and brilliantly. Others plodded with determination through a long period of gradual achievement until they reach the top. In spite of all the differences you will note among successful people, one quality is always present. Winners are self-motivated. They do not wait for someone else to tell them what to do or when to do it. Their interest and desire do not depend on outside circumstances or other people. They possess instead an inner drive for achievement, for action, and for success that keeps them striving for a goal, pushing for advancement, competing for success. It seems obvious that if all successful people are self-motivated, possession of this trait is a great advantage. This suggests some questions. Where does self-motivation originate? Is it an inborn characteristic, or is it a learned skill? Must it be a lifelong attitude, or can it be developed at any age? Over the last 3 or 4 decades, psychologists and behavioral scientists have conducted an enormous body of research in the field of motivation, seeking to learn what motivates people and whether motivation can be increased or intensified. All of the research agrees that the most effective motivation is that which is self-generated, and that it is largely a matter of attitude. Since attitudes are merely habits of thought, it follows that self-motivation is a learned skill, and that anyone who is willing to invest the time and effort needed to develop a new habit of thought can become self-motivated. The tool, technique, or procedure that is most effective in developing self-motivation is one with which you are already familiar through lifelong use. It is the tool of affirmation. Although this name may be new to you, the process is not. Affirmation may be called self-suggestion, self-talk, self-affirmation, attitude control, or personal reminders. It may simply be called talking to yourself. We all use affirmation. Its power to control and direct thought has been known for centuries. The Greek philosopher Plato told his students, "Take charge of your life. You can do what you will with it." Buddha taught, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought." Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor philosopher, said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Mahatma Gandhi told his followers, "Man often becomes what he believes himself to be." If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end up by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity, even if I may not have it at the beginning. William James, the 20th century philosopher, said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." James Allen, in his book, As a Man Thinketh, said, "The vision that you glorify, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by. This you will become." Throughout the centuries, wise men have understood the necessity for building attitudes and belief and confidence in your own capabilities by reminding yourself of what you can be and what you can become. The nature of this dynamic tool is little understood. It is therefore greatly neglected. Perhaps it is the very simplicity of affirmation that causes it to be overlooked. Just what is affirmation? The dictionary calls affirmation the positive assertion of the truth or validity of a statement. Perhaps it would be clearer for our purposes to say that an affirmation is a positive declaration that describes what you want to be, what you want to have, or how you want to live your life. Because we live in a scientific, industrial society, we tend to demand visible, tangible, concrete evidence, and tend to discount or reject ideas, concepts, and truths which we cannot immediately see or feel. It is therefore difficult for us to grasp the significance of this simple tool, affirmation, in a program of personal growth and development. While people for hundreds of years have used affirmations and have in a sense recognized the power of affirmation to affect attitudes, self-confidence, and behavior patterns, it is a fairly modern idea to pursue a deliberate course of repeating specific mottos for the purpose of producing a desired effect. You have probably heard of Dr. Emile Coué, the French physician of the late 19th century who told his patients that they would improve faster if they adopted the simple plan of saying over and over, "Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Dr. Coué even affirmed that daily use of this statement would result in the curing of physical ailments, as well as in the development of healthier, happier attitudes. A lot of people laughed at Dr. Coué. His method was so simple that they doubted its validity. But those who followed his instruction found that his method worked in spite of the ridicule of others. Dr. Coué understood the power of affirmation. He knew that the repetition of a positive thought over and over, day after day, affects the subconscious mind, the creative power within. We all use various affirmations, whether we realize it or not. Quotations, proverbs, sayings, and axioms are all affirmations. For example, a penny saved is a penny earned. A stitch in time saves 9. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. All of these are borrowed affirmations, ideas we have appropriated from someone else to support our personal value system. Borrowed affirmations are the most commonly used, but they are effective only when they are genuinely internalized so that their borrowed quality is overcome. But we all use other kinds of self-talk in addition to borrowed affirmations. Have you ever said something like this to yourself? I can do better than that. Or, I must remember to use that idea. Or, I'll put this in a place where I'll be sure to find it. The purpose of such self-talk is to effect a change, to ensure a future action, to correct an error, or to overcome a bad habit. Although everyone engages in self-talk to one degree or another, we are sometimes slightly embarrassed to admit that we talk to ourselves. You have probably heard it said laughingly that those who talk to themselves are crazy, especially if they talk out loud. If this were true, we would all be forced to admit to some degree of insanity, for everyone does engage in self-talk. Talking to yourself may be conscious and directed, or it may be subliminal and automatic. But you do engage in self-talk, and that, in essence, is what affirmation is. Since you're already practicing self-talk or affirmation, what could be more simple or practical than to turn the habit to your advantage by giving it your attention, recognizing its importance, and controlling its content? Affirmation is merely controlled and directed self-talk which gives direction and impact to your plans and goals for self-improvement and results in greater utilization of your potential for success. Some of the most dramatic examples of success for the use of affirmation are seen in the sports world. Pro golfer Johnny Miller is often observed taking an envelope or a piece of paper from his pocket and looking at it intently while he is on the golf course. On the back of the envelope, he writes notes to himself. You must keep the head still. Take the club back slowly. Miller grins when someone mentions his notes to himself. It sounds corny, he says, but the sayings serve a purpose. If you keep feeding things to the brain, it remembers and transfers them to the body. It evidently works for Miller. His affirmations have helped him maintain a place among the top money winners in pro golf. Football's legendary O.J. Simpson began his use of affirmations as a child when he had an opportunity to see his idol, Jim Brown. O.J. stood around for a while gathering up his courage, but finally walked right up to Brown and said, Mr. Brown, someday I'm going to break all your records. Wait and see. And he did. The present pattern of your personality and your life is the result of all the influences to which you have been exposed since your birth, together with your reactions to and your feelings about those experiences. Your automatic or unconscious self-talk reflects the feelings and emotions with which you have up to this time reacted to the experiences of the past. They are stored in the memory banks of your computer brain. You can never lose this past programming, but you may add to it. Because new input into your memory has the strength of freshness, it can override negative conditioning. But it is effective only for a short period of time unless it is strengthened and reinforced by repetition. Constant repetition produces acceptance and finally, belief. Then, new habits follow. When you set a goal and affirm it through self-talk, you exert a psychological reinforcement of your opinions and ideas. You create belief in yourself and your ability to become whatever you wish to be. You may say, but this does not alter reality. The fact that I believe doesn't change the way things really are. Objectively, affirmation does not change anything, but subjectively, it certainly does. You tend to live up to what is expected of you, to your reputation, good or bad. But you not only live up to what others expect of you, you also live up to what you expect of yourself. This is why the use of affirmation is such a dynamic tool for personal development. Expectation exerts a powerful force. The modern novelist John Steinbeck observed, "It is the nature of man to rise to greatness, if greatness is expected of him." Norman Vincent Peale, the author of The Power of Positive Thinking, wrote, "When the mental picture or attitude is strongly enough held, it actually seems to control conditions and circumstances." One of the current outstanding young tennis professionals was recently asked by a sports announcer how he managed to serve ace points time after time so consistently. The young man answered, "I guess it's just because people expect me to." You can picture the effects of affirmation on your attitude if you can visualize a seesaw. One end of the board is loaded with the negative responses and ideas you have built up through a lifetime, while the other is weighted with positive ideas. Since childhood, a great deal of input into your attitudes, however well-intended, has been negative. Many of your feelings and attitudes, therefore, may tend to be negative. They may even be so heavy that they cause the negative end of the seesaw to rest firmly on the ground. But the moment you begin to use positive affirmations, you gradually begin to shift the weight in a positive direction. As the balance shifts, the seesaw gradually changes position until a preponderance of positive feelings and reactions govern your life, and the negatives are pushed off into oblivion. When you consciously practice the technique of affirmation, the law of displacement also begins to operate in your favor. Picture your mind as a bucket into which the icy water of negative feelings and attitudes has been poured all of your life. You can consciously displace this water that chills all of your desire for growth by the use of affirmations. Each affirmation that you use is like a smooth, warm gravel dropped into the bucket of water, a positive force to replace the cold negatives. A large enough number of small stones dropped into a bucket of water eventually replaces almost all of the water. The warm, positive thoughts and ideas you repeatedly drop into your store of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs will gradually warm your life and replace the old, chilling negatives. Through this process of displacing negative attitudes, you begin to form new positive expectations for yourself, and you also begin to believe that you can live up to those expectations. Because you expect to see positive changes, you begin to act in the positive manner you have affirmed. You literally become a changed personality because you act according to the expectations you set for yourself. Your affirmation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are all kinds of affirmations. Let's look at a few of them. 1. A numerical affirmation makes use of some sort of number that has a special meaning for you. It may represent money, a date, or a number of activities. For example, a salesperson might use an affirmation such as 10, 6, 3. This could be a reminder that 10 telephone calls result in 6 appointments for sales presentations that lead to 3 sales. Repeating this affirmation over and over makes telephone calls fun because the resulting benefits are mentally visible. 2. Pictorial affirmations have a powerful effect to intensify and build desire in your subconscious mind. If you look often at a picture that represents your goal, you stimulate your imagination to help you create and implement means of transforming the picture into reality. A picture of yourself standing by a golf or tennis trophy you want to win, the floor plan of your dream house, or travel folders of the vacation spot you want to visit are all powerful affirmations to help you realize your dreams. A young California artist found a way to use a pictorial affirmation. On the door to her double garage, she painted a picture of backs of the 2 cars that she would like to have, a Mercedes-Benz and a Porsche, as though they were parked inside the garage. Every time she approaches her garage, she sees the 2 beautiful cars that she plans to have. 3. Verbal affirmations are condensed statements of a desired result or an attitude you wish to possess. For example, I am a great salesman. My income is $25,000 a year. I am in great physical shape. I enjoy jogging 2 miles every morning. I remember the names and faces of people I meet because I like them. 4. Actions can become affirmations. Listening repeatedly to this tape is an affirmation. The repetition of a new tennis stroke until it is mastered is an affirmation. The practice of a new piece of music is an affirmation. Helping your toddler pick up the toys or playing catch in the backyard with your child is a joint affirmation by both of you in the child's ability to grow and learn. Using a daily do list to organize your work is an affirmation. Reserving a special regular time for family activities is an affirmation. Developing the art of self-talk or self-suggestion, the use of affirmation, is a habit just like any other habit. There are affirmations for living, affirmations for work, affirmations for overcoming fear, affirmations for personal development, and affirmations to command the morning so you will get off to the right start. Many people have internalized the truth in an affirmation from Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Tough-Minded Optimist. God made me strong. I see myself as I really am, strong. With God's help, I'm not weak, I'm strong. I have what it takes. Thank you, God, for my strength. An affirmation used by former Notre Dame coach Frank Leahy is, "When the going gets tough, the tough get going." In fact, Leahy had this affirmation painted in gigantic letters on the locker room wall, so his players would see it the last thing before they ran onto the field. An affirmation may be used effectively the first thing in the morning to help you control your time and your attitude from the very beginning of the day. If you look out of the window and say, "What a miserable day," your spirits fall into the depths of despair. On the other hand, you can say, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Then you're ready to begin the day on a solid, positive note, and you're well on the way to success. How you feel depends on your mental stance. Anchor your mind to abiding values and command the morning by their power. Affirmations can affect your physical well-being as powerfully as they affect your mental attitudes. Some medical researchers say that fully 75% of patients who visit doctors suffer from psychosomatic illnesses induced by negative thought and fed into the subconscious by negative affirmations. Affirming health and strength predisposes you to experience physical well-being. Looking for symptoms of illness and reinforcing them with fear promises illness. Successful business people invariably use positive affirmations to support their attitudes and habits. It matters little whether you call them mottos, creeds, or principles for action. It's the repetitive positive input that you experience through repeating and seeing these statements day after day that produces success attitudes. More than 3,000 years ago, the wise King Solomon said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." It is still true today. You can put the power of affirmation to work for you today. To help you begin the practice of this powerful technique, Side B of this tape has been designed to guide you through the process of developing usable, positive affirmations to help you become the person you want to become, to achieve the goals you have set, and to obtain the rewards you desire. Listen repeatedly to Side A of this tape as an affirmation of your desire to take control of your life. Listen to Side B until you have mastered the procedure for developing effective affirmations for your own use, and then review it occasionally to be sure that you experience maximum benefits from your program of positive affirmation.
This is the end of Side A.
Because affirmations are so powerful in bringing about personality change and success, it is a good idea to see that they are planned and constructed to accomplish the greatest good for you. There are some simple but extremely important guidelines for constructing workable affirmations. Follow the procedure suggested on this side of the tape to develop your own personal affirmations that will provide a powerful burst of psychic energy to propel you toward achievement of goals that are important to you. Your affirmations provide you with confidence to make any changes in your life that are necessary to attain your goal. The first step is to determine areas in which you wish to make changes in your behavior. Obviously, if you begin to think about the goals that you wish to achieve in your life and the attitudes, habits, and personality traits that you want to develop, you will see some areas of your life that must change. Before you can make such changes, you must know exactly what you want to become, what you want to do, and what you want to have. It is most important that you state specifically what you want. A generalization such as, "I want to be a better person," is meaningless unless you know exactly what you mean by better. If you say, "I want to make more money," but do not define exactly what you mean by more money, it will be impossible to achieve your goal. For no matter how much you make, you will never feel successful because your affirmation says you must have more money. Define what you mean by more money. Set a specific goal for increased income. This does not mean that you put a limit on what you can do, for when you reach your first goal for increased income, you can set a new goal for another increase. So describe your desire or your goal in specific terms. For example, "I want to use my time more profitably by making 20% more sales presentations each week. I want to have a more open, trusting relationship with my children, so they will feel free to share their thoughts and their lives with me. I want to improve the management of my money, so that I will increase my monthly savings by 50%. I want to earn $2,000 per month." It is important that you take time to write out a description of the changes in personality, attitudes, and habits that you wish to achieve. Our memories are tricky things. We tend to forget good intentions that call for effort, particularly if they also involve change. Once you know what goals you want to achieve, you are ready to begin the actual formation of some affirmations you can use to support the changes in your personality, attitudes, or possessions which you have listed as desirable. If your affirmations are to exert a potent positive impact on your attitudes, they must be constructed according to these basic guidelines. 1. Use the first person pronoun I. Because you are an individual, unique in every respect, your affirmations must be uniquely yours. They must be restricted to what I can do or become. While you and your spouse, your children, or your business associates might use affirmations worded identically, you must each internalize them individually. You are an individual. You will have some differing emotions, feelings, and attitudes toward any situation. Your affirmation, then, should use I, not we. For example, instead of, we spend money according to our financial plan, let your affirmation say, I spend money in accordance with my family spending plan. Instead of, we plan vacations which the whole family can enjoy together, let your affirmation say, I plan with my family for happy vacation activities. Instead of, we plan each day's work activities, let your affirmation say, I plan each day's work and follow my plan. 2. State affirmations positively. There are a number of reasons why affirmations must be stated positively. Much of your early conditioning was loaded with negatives. You were told, don't run in the street, don't play with matches, don't bite off more than you can chew, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Now you are trying to achieve a balance and eventually to tip the scales in favor of positives. Negative input in whatever form is limiting and self-defeating. You need positive statements to produce positive pictures in your mind. For example, if you use an affirmation such as, I am not afraid to speak in public, you have no way to visualize your goal, to experience in your imagination how it would feel to achieve your desire. There are many feelings that are not fear. Which one is appropriate? You have created a vacuum. There is no motivation, no feeling of urgency, no accomplishment to experience in advance. In contrast, you can affirm, I enjoy the excitement of acceptance and sense of accomplishment I feel when I speak in public. Then, you can mentally see yourself performing and feeling what you affirm. You actually experience in advance the benefits of reaching your goal to speak effectively. Your affirmation serves as the tipping of the scales, the swing of the pendulum, the balance of the seesaw away from the negative feelings of fear and failure toward the positive enjoyment of self-confidence and success. Many salespeople whom I have trained have found value in using the affirmations which I wrote for myself when I first entered the sales profession. 1. I am a great salesman. I am prepared to make this call. I have earned the right more than anyone else to make this presentation. I've been sent to see the prospect by someone he respects. I have the time to tell my story under favorable conditions. I have empathy for the prospect, compassion for him. I care about him as a person. I'll be perceptive and sensitive. I'll be tuned in. I'm going to use controlled attention, concentrated energy, and sustained effort. Furthermore, I'll enter this interview without giving mental recognition to the possibility of defeat. I'll make the sale, and I'll make a friend. I'll be able to see through his eyes the end result benefit to him personally of having my product. 2. What's behind the door? I cannot tell, but this I know and know it well. The more I open, the more I sell. 3. If I have everything to gain and nothing to lose by trying, I will by all means try. 4. I'll do it now. Repeating these or similar affirmations just before going into a sales presentation helps a salesperson visualize success and feel comfortable throughout the presentation. Repeating these affirmations provides a firm standard of conduct to follow. If you affirm, I do not spend money impulsively, you have no standard by which to judge your conduct. On the other hand, you can affirm, I spend my money according to the wise plan I have devised for management of my family's money. Then, you know what to expect of yourself in the way of money management and money use. A positively stated affirmation implies action that can be visualized. You can mentally see yourself already doing or being whatever you affirm. You're already on the road to success. 3. State affirmations in the present tense. The suggestion that affirmations be phrased in the present tense probably causes more problems than all other guidelines combined. You may have a mental block against writing or repeating an affirmation when you know it isn't true. Remember, an affirmation is merely a tool to achieve the goal of behavior modification. A mechanic uses a wrench to tighten a bolt. The wrench is a tool. It is neither true nor false. So it is with an affirmation. It is a tool used to accomplish a purpose. It is neither true nor false. Before you can become a different person, before you can be what you wish, before you can have what you want, you must see yourself in your new role and know how it feels to be what you have decided to become, to do what you have decided to do, or to have what you have decided you want. Your present tense affirmation is the tool which lets you experience how these new conditions feel. If you repeat an affirmation such as, "I will save 10% of my money," you feel no urgency to act on this principle today. However, if you affirm, "I save 10% of my income," you begin immediately to live by your decision to save. If you say, "I will become the vice president of my company," this picture remains always in the future. However, if you affirm daily, "I am vice president of my company," you begin to form the attitudes, the habits, and the behavior that will prepare you for the day when your affirmation becomes reality. You will know how it feels to be a vice president. You will know how you should act and how you should react. When you reach your goal, you will be able to perform effectively because of your affirmations. 4. Affirmations must be fun. If you make a drudgery of the process of writing and using affirmations, you reinforce existing negative attitudes. The requirement for enjoying affirmations involves the full stretch of your imagination to visualize the future. It goes hand in hand with the concept that motivation arises from anticipation of the fulfillment of needs and desires. 5. Affirmations must be written. Writing crystallizes thought, and thought motivates action. Writing keeps you on track. Writing is a reminder that wards off distraction. Writing helps you visualize results. Your unconscious mind, which does not distinguish between fact and fancy, accepts the image you have constructed while writing and reviewing your affirmations. Then gradually, your behavior responds, and you become the person you have affirmed yourself to be. All of the inspiring and motivational affirmations you write must be used repeatedly to produce effective results. Part of the purpose behind writing is the provision of the means to use your affirmations with spaced repetition. This point cannot be overemphasized. Remember, you got where you are today through the influence of spaced repetition. You can change habits, attitudes, and personality characteristics in the same way through controlled repetition. Written affirmations may be used in dozens of ways to reinforce the habits and attitudes you wish to develop. One of the simplest devices is to write them on small cards and carry them in your wallet, purse, or pocket calendar. Keep them in your desk drawer or somewhere else where you will see them several times a day. Read them over and over. There are many ways to use the affirmations that you are willing for others to see. You can tape them to the bathroom or bedroom mirror, to the refrigerator door, or to the sun visor of your automobile. You can tack them on a bulletin board at the office or at home. Keep a copy of your affirmations on your bedside table and read them as soon as you wake in the morning, and the last thing before you turn out the lights at night. Beginning the day with positive expectancy provides you with a head start for achievement. Ending the day with positive affirmation prepares you for rest and relaxation that will bring you renewal for success tomorrow. On the other hand, many affirmations are personal. Remember this as you plan how to use them. Because your affirmations are tied to personal goals, it is often difficult for anyone else to see the reason behind them. If you share your private affirmations with people who do not understand the purpose and the operation of affirmation as a tool, you invite negative input from people who see you as you are now, not as you have decided to be. They do not know what goals you have chosen to achieve. Their negative input might slow down the benefits you can gain from using affirmations. Try to fit the planned use for each affirmation to its subject matter. For example, a financial affirmation can be placed in your wallet or checkbook where you will see it each time you think about money. A time organization affirmation may be placed in your pocket appointment book or at the head of your daily do list. An affirmation about eating habits may be placed on the refrigerator door or the bathroom scales. An affirmation about telephone use can be taped to the telephone. Exercise your imagination and your creativity to devise unique ways of using your affirmations for fun. You should enjoy becoming the person you want to be. Life was meant to be savored. Achievement loses its meaning if you fail to enjoy the process. When you begin to use affirmations, you release the full potential of your creative power. You find yourself developing new ways of doing things and of achieving goals. Here are some examples of positive affirmations that suggest action and results. I always plan my work. I organize my efforts today for tomorrow and the future. I plan ahead to get ahead. I have complete confidence in all that I think and do. I treat a problem as an opportunity for creativity. As a result, my life is enriched. I persevere and finish any task I undertake. I bring great concentration to bear upon the subject at hand. I face problems with courage and solve them easily. I have the ability to reach creative decisions. Plan to use affirmations in every area of your life. In the mental area, you might affirm, I am intelligent. I can understand and apply new ideas creatively. I eagerly receive new ideas and use the ones that apply to my needs. In the social realm, you might use affirmations like these. I love other people and find it easy to express my interest and concern. I express my interest in others by listening creatively to their ideas. In the family area, affirmations such as these might work for you. I provide a regular time for sharing and communicating with each member of my family. I enjoy recreation and family activities with my spouse and children. I provide the emotional and psychological support that my family needs from me. I relate to members of my family in a positive way. Affirmations are important in the physical area. You might use some affirmations like these. I maintain excellent physical fitness through my personal program of exercise, good diet, and adequate rest and recreation. I maintain a regular schedule of physical activity. I handle the stresses of everyday life with calmness and serenity. Use your imagination, your creativity, and your initiative in planning and using affirmation as a tool to develop self-motivation. Your life will be filled with heightened excitement and eager anticipation of each day. 2 final reminders. 1. Affirmations never substitute for action. There is no magical power connected with the repetition of a statement other than the dynamic effect it has on your belief in yourself. You cannot say to yourself every morning and every night, I am a millionaire, then sit down and do nothing, expecting $1 million to fall into your lap. If, on the other hand, you constantly affirm, I am a millionaire, and begin to think and act the part by becoming more productive in your work, by managing your money properly, and by investing your savings wisely, the possibility of becoming a millionaire increases daily. Your affirmation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because of some magical quality, but because of your own actions. 2. Affirmations also require patience. You must be patient when you first begin to use affirmations. If you expect instantaneous dramatic results, you will become tense and actually slow down the effect that an affirmation could produce. Remember, it took many years for you to become the person you are. Change requires time. The present and the future are not joined by a single link, but by a chain composed of the goals you have set, the plans you have made to achieve them, and the affirmations that you repeat to displace negative thoughts, and the actions you take. To make progress, you must find the inner source of self-motivation that is vital to continued realization of your potential. Affirmation